My UFC debut, it was a 4th of July weekend in Las Vegas. I fought George Roop. At the time, this guy was a veteran. I used to watch him fight for the WC, obviously fight in the UFC. Literally the tallest 35 I've ever seen in my life. At the time, obviously I was young and hungry, and I didn't really care who they threw me in there. Once I heard George Roop, I was like, whoa, okay, this is a big fight.
Next, we kick things off in the bantamweight division. George Roop versus Rob Font.
The weigh-ins was incredible. It was insane. The place was packed. That's my first time being in front of that many people. We got in there, I made weight, he made weight. He even got on his tippy toes and looked over me and everything. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna make you pay for that. And he paid for it. Fast forward to fight night, it just felt right.
We welcome you live to Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight we are inside the Mandalay Bay Event Center for UFC 175.
Everything just felt professional, coming off the local scene to the UFC, it just felt right. It felt professional. It felt like this is how it's supposed to be done. It just felt like we made it.
Born and raised in Massachusetts, Rob Font, 10-1, making his UFC debut tonight.
The first walk, it was incredible. The arena was huge. You got nervous. Obviously, you make a UFC debut, fighting veterans. So I definitely was nervous, but once I got on that canvas, I felt that beautiful canvas again. It just felt like this is how it's supposed to be. And I just had one goal in mind, was knocking out George Roop.
Fighting out of North Reading, Massachusetts, Rob Font.
Making your debut and keeping your emotion in check is definitely a hard part of the game, but I felt like I passed the test with flying colors.
Rob Font, George Roop.
The referee says, ready, points to me, points to George. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. We start the fight, moving around a little bit, bouncing on him, trying to feel his range. I could feel that he was long, but he felt slow. I could tell it was all arms, no feet. We went back and forth a little bit, tit for tat, with a couple kicks here, a couple jabs here. Nothing crazy landed. And when he put me against the cage, I could feel it. He wasn't that strong, so not too worried about the wrestling. He's not really landing much. Got off the cage, and then I started moving my feet side to side. I saw he was following me with his eyes, and I just knew I just got to explode on him. And exactly what I did.
Oh my! Huge right hand! He flipped him! It's out! It's all over! Rob Font wins his UFC debut!
It's kind of like threw my jab at him, just came right over his jab with my overhand right, and it landed, and everything clicked in. My instincts took over, and I just put him away.
He exploded in perfectly. Absolute perfect placement. A big right hand, and Rob Font wins his UFC debut in spectacular fashion.
I was ecstatic, man. The feelings of all the hard work paying off, visualizing a knockout and actually playing out exactly the way you visualize. It was proof that, visualization really does work. And, I just couldn't wait to do it again. It just happened so fast. I was like, oh, that's it? No more? And then, yeah, we went and we celebrated with the friends and family, and I enjoyed Vegas. My UFC debut lived up to every expectation. I won. I won the bonus. Yeah, I couldn't have written a better story.
Big win for Rob Font. He wins his first fight in the UFC.